Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's my honor, as usual, to be out here in nature, greeting you and always bring this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. So my encouragement to you is not to forget to like, share, or subscribe to this channel. Also, you can comment, and when you do that, you're going to help the algorithm and help this channel to grow. Also, if you would like to support this work, I would encourage you to allow the ads to play for at least 30 seconds. Now, with that being said, I want to speak to you concerning Abdullah Science for better living. And as we know, Abdullah was the mentor of Neville Goddard, and Abdullah wanted to teach Neville the science for better living. And it was a time of great depression, and Neville has been studying the Kabbalah and the Bible and all of the older writings even before the Bible with Abdullah. And that's why, my brothers and my sisters, this science for better living that Abdullah was teaching Neville Goddard, it is a wisdom that was known even way back in Kemet, and our ancestors would have left all of the symbols for us in the earth, for us to see and to know. Why they would have always encouraged us saying, man, know thyself. Because actually they wanted to teach us the science for better living, how we should live our life on this earth or on this planet comfortably, and live our life as a God, as a creator, one who can create their reality consciously. So this science for better living that Abdullah was teaching Neville Goddard, he was teaching Neville that it all have to do with the mind, and how you must understand how the mind works. Also, he was teaching him that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, and how he must understand a thought frequency, and how it goes out into the ether and it returns back based on what is your intention. And so when Neville had this burning desire to travel to Barbados to see his family, Abdullah taught him what to do to operate this science for better living in his life. So Abdullah taught him the secret of imagination, teaching him that when the Bible speaks of God in man, it is speaking of man's imagination. That's why, my brother and my sisters, I always present to you that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. For the Bible is not literal, neither is it secular history. And it have no reference to anyone who existed thousands of years ago or any actual event that would have taken place on earth thousands of years ago. From the beginning to the ending of the Bible, it's all a great psychological drama, and it all have to do with the human psyche. Now, this is the key that you must know that would set you free from mental slavery. Because the Bible, when it's been interpreted to you as literal or as secular history, is going to keep you in mental slavery and make you believe and worship a God outside of yourself. And that is why, my brother and my sisters, Deuteronomy 28 tells you that all these blessings shall follow you if you will never turn your back from God and worship idols. But we see when you turn away from your image and your likeness that you behold in the mirror and you believe in another, you are in idolatry, and it's going to keep you in a curse. Now we look around the world and we see a people who are always dwelling in mediocrity and poverty and limitation, and we realize that they believe in a God outside of themselves. And that's why Abdullah was teaching Neville Goddard that this Jesus and Mary story is what been used to keep the people in mental slavery. Therefore, he taught him how to use the science of mind, or the science for better living, showing him that when we trust and believe in our imagination, we are trusting God in man, and how we're supposed to believe in our God self and use our God power, which is our creative power, to achieve our every desire. So my brother and my sisters, this message that I'm bringing to you is a message to set you free, to point you to look inwardly and teach you how to use the science for better living. And that science is the science of mind, understanding your mind and how your mind works, and working in accordance with the laws that governs all of humanity and the laws that governs the universe. So my brother and my sisters, just as Abdullah would have encouraged Neville Goddard to practice the science for better living, which is the science of mind, understanding the law of mentalism and mastering the law of mentalism, so am I here encouraging you to master the law of mentalism. Like for example, I had a conversation with a pastor, and I was asking him if he know what this angle really mean and what it represents. He tell me it's a version of a cross. He thinks it's got to do with the cross. So when I told him that this was even before the cross, he do not want to believe me, and he was saying that I am trying to convert him. So I said, no, I'm not trying to convert you in any way. And I asked him if everything that he would have just said to me concerning Jesus and quoting a bunch of scriptures, if all of that wasn't false or thought. And you know, he said no, it wasn't false or thought. So I asked him if he don't think before he speak. And so he was saying all of this foolishness to try to get away from facing the truth. So basically, what I'm really saying is that people who believe in this Jesus and Mary story, they have no concept of how the mind works. They have no concept of the law of mentalism. It means that you're actually living in this world and you're living a life whereby you are actually mentally retarded. It means you have never think one day for your own self. Everything that was handed to you, you receive it on a platter and you eat all of it, you digest all of it. It's like a fish that swallow both line, hook, sinker, swallow everything and never think for yourself. So my brother and my sisters, when you start to learn to think for yourself, then you will understand that there is a science that you can use to live the best version of yourself. And it's the science of mind, understanding how your mind works. And also, it is very important for people who are melanated to know their true history, to know their true identity, to know their true nationality, and to know their true spirituality, and to know what the ancestors would have believed and practiced before the European came and Europeanized them with their European form of Christianity, which is secular Christianity, pointing you to look outwardly, to keep you bound in poverty, mediocrity, and most of all, mental slavery. So this whole colonial mentality that Neville grew up in, having grown up in the Caribbean, in the island of Barbados, Abdullah had to wash his mind away from this kind of brainwash and teach him true Christianity. And true Christianity is pointing you to look inwardly, to discover your real identity is your divinity. And until you know that, you would not be able to practice in your life the science for better living that Abdullah taught Neville Goddard. And the world today is using that teaching to better themselves. But the people who the message has been sent to in a symbolic way through our ancestor Abdullah, many of these people are failing to understand the true message because they've been told that they have to get rid of the false savior. They have to get rid of the worship that they've been given to the slave master, and worshiping the idol of the slave master and calling on the slave master to be their redeemer and their savior, when they are to look within themselves to find the savior and the redeemer and live the best version of their lives, practicing the science for better living. So my brother and my sisters, my encouragement to you is to practice the science for better living by understanding and knowing who you are. So if what I'm saying it makes sense to you and it helping you in any way, I would like to say, if this is the first time that you're listening to me and you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video, as I would have said from the beginning. But just before I leave, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you, that it is the singular I, yes, the singular I message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And it is this singular I secret that our ancestors would have known even before the European Christianity. And I'm saying to you, when you have that single eye experience, you would experience the great and mighty shaking. You would hear the unearthly wind, and you would ascend like a fiery being, and you will burst your crown chakra and become invisible. And then you will understand the virgin birth, you will understand the resurrection, and then you would know that the greatest lie that has ever been fed to humanity is the Virgin Mary and Jesus story that was interpreted to you as literal and as secular history. And also you will come to realize that this great experience is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N. For truly, the Bible is the sun book. And the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in the Bible, which is the sun book, that the Lord thy God is a sun, a S-U-N, and a shield, and no good thing which he withhold from you. Basic common sense, which is actually your God sense, will teach you that the sun has never withhold any good thing from humanity. For the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. Then in Malachi chapter 4 and verses 2, in the sun book again, which is the Bible, you read that the sun shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And he said the Son of righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. So righteousness is discovering the sun in you, which means that righteousness is a discovery, not something you attain. And so when the sun has been risen in me, I'm bringing healing to all of humanity. That's why I always point each and every one to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity, and encourage you all times to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire and live the best version of your life. For this was the truth that Neville Goddard learned from our ancestor Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.